Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Well, actually, it's Becky Brown, and I am joined by Dr. Dave Stoop and Jill Hubbard, and happy first Friday of 2020, everybody. We are so glad you're here, and we're taking your calls at 1-800-229-3000. We appreciate the opportunity just to connect with you, and especially because it's a new year. We've been talking this week about resolutions versus goals and, you know, how to make those changes. And Dave, you wrote a great little book called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And I recommend that to so many people, and all of you can get it at newlife.com or 1-800-NEW-LIFE. But what is the way, like, how do we change the way that we think? How can we change our thoughts?
Well, I think we have to take in the Word of God and allow Him to change the way we think about things. So meditating on specific passages of Scripture relating to a topic is one way that we can do it. Thy word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against you. Is Psalm 119 is the principle for it. And that's we take different topics like anger and lust and things like that, and really have the Scripture already chosen for changing your way you approach that whole area of your life. You can't do it by willpower. Willpower won't last. It runs out of power. And it might last for a month or 2 months or even 6 months, but then it's gone. You got to change the root of it, which is to change the way that I think.
You know, one of my favorite parts about that book is, you know, we tell people all the time, read the Bible. And, you know, maybe that's one of your New Year's resolutions for 2020 is to read the Bible every day, which would be a great one to do. And we've got a few that you can choose from. But you talk specifically about these passages for these areas. So I think there's a passage about anxiety, people who are dealing with anxiety. And, you know, as you can get anxious trying to figure out how to get rid of anxiety, right?
Yeah.
So,
because anxiety doesn't have a focus. It's a generalization that is hard to, if I can bring it into focus, I can deal with it, but I can't bring it into focus.
Yeah, and you know that we are dealing with more anxiety than ever before, and it's interesting because we're not really living in a time of war or, you know, time of, you know, stress that way, but we have all these ways of connecting, and yet we are so disconnected, which I know is also a problem with anxiety. But
and young people especially. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Who have never known anything but the internet, right? Are more anxious than they've ever been in past times.
They connect through the internet, and it's an impersonal way to connect, so it doesn't do anything to help.
But it's their whole world, yeah.
It's their world, yeah.
And you know, so the interesting thing is, though, we're not going to change the way that the world connects.
You're right. Thank you.
But the Word of God is always there. It is a constant. And so in that book, Dave, you've really done a great job of giving us some kind of structure, some pathway, so that we don't
some
have
ways to be intentional about it, right?
Yeah.
And the neuroscience even supports the fact that it does change the way that your brain works. And so why not do it, right? That's a great way to start. If you haven't started your New Year's resolutions or goals, today's the day.
Read Dave's book.
That's right. Change your life. Change your thoughts. Change your life. You can get it at newlife.com along with a bunch of other great resources that can really help you in your new life. And you know, we love to talk to you. So you can give us a call at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or 1-800-229-3000. We're going to take some calls after the break. But we hope that your 2020 is off to a good start. And if it's not, guess what? The day's not over. You can start right now. We'll be right back.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Southern California February 28th to March the 1st. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Yes, we are back. Happy Friday, January 3rd. We are so happy to start the new year off on a good foot. And we are going to start by talking to Becky, who is a Club New Life member. Thanks so much, Becky. She is in Cleveland and listens to us on our podcast. Becky, how can we help you today?
Hi, thank you for taking my call, and Happy New Year. I have a question. I guess it's kind of regarding boundaries. My son is getting married this summer. My husband and I are divorced, so he is inviting both of us. He's also inviting some family friends that are still friends with my ex-husband, who are basically his support team. Mm-hmm. But he refuses to invite my daughter. So I'm basically going to be attending this wedding without any support for myself. And I'm wondering if it's beyond my boundary to kind of insist that he invite my daughter.
Is that his sister?
It is his sister.
Okay. And he has issue with his sister? Like, why would he not include his sister?
He doesn't like her.
Okay.
He has bad memories, I guess, from childhood about her. I'm not 100% sure why he doesn't like his sister, but yeah.
And does she know this?
Yes, and she's very hurt by it.
Okay.
So, Becky, the question is, you were starting to ask your question.
The question is it beyond my scope or his boundary to insist that he invite his sister? And if he refuses to invite his sister, can I insist that he invite someone that would at least support me at his wedding when I have to face these other 5 people who no longer are in my life? I haven't spoken to them in over 7 years.
Can we take the focus off insist?
Yeah.
And take it more into the realm of, can you and your son... I
love that you're laughing, Becky. Yeah. That's awesome. You're laughing. Because you kind of knew we were going to say that. But.
Yeah, that you and your son have a conversation, right? You're having a conversation about how excited you are about him getting married, and this is a special day, and it's a happy occasion. But even happy occasions bring up feelings for people. If you look at some of those like stress lists of things, getting married or marriage in a family is right up there as a stressor, right? And that while you don't want to do anything to detract from his wedding, you want to be able to fully enjoy it. And in order to do that, you're aware that there's kind of some landmines for you, some awkwardness, and it would really help you to have someone in your corner. Like, do you get to bring a +1? And would he be willing to allow you to have a +1? Someone that you could choose.
So far, he's told me no.
Okay, because of the expense.
Is it a financial thing?
Wedding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's a very small wedding.
It's a very small wedding.
Okay.
There's going to be 50 guests, and of those 50 guests, five of them are from his dad's side.
And do you know any of the other people? I mean,
I know some of them, but they're not like intimate friends of mine. They're like friends of his and his future wife.
Here's the thing, Becky. Your kids' relationship is theirs to work out. It's sad because this is an event that you would want everybody to share, together. However, like you said, Jill, this is something, weddings bring out the best and the worst. It's kind of like funerals and weddings.
Yep,
it's just one of those things. And that's because we're all coming together for a central purpose, but we haven't worked out all the stuff that keeps us apart every other day of the week. So I think what my suggestion would be is that, if he said no to you having a +1, the work that you'll have to do is decide, okay, do I want to go? And if you do, decide how long you're going to stay. And then maybe regroup with somebody following the wedding. Your support people.
Even have a friend you can be texting before, or talking to before, and texting during, so that you feel like you have someone that knows that it's hard for you. Okay.
Well, I would talk to him about inviting his sister, because that's something that 10 years from now, when he has children, Aunt's sister will be in his life in a different way, and there'll be regret because he wasn't at the wedding, and it compounds the whole issue between them. Yeah. Whereas if he invites her and stays away from her, just has her there,
or she could agree to some boundaries, right? In coming too.
And here's the thing, whatever the thing is between the two of them, there definitely needs to be a conversation that encourages healing or resolution of some sort. Right. This kind of enigma of, I just don't like her because of something that we're never going to talk about, isn't going to help either one of them. She, won't be able to make amends to, heal the relationship or take responsibility if there's something that she needs to do. But all of this is their work, Becky. It's not really yours.
But I think you can also ask.
How do I deal though with the internal stress? Like I haven't really had a good night's sleep since Thanksgiving, because they had a big blowout at Thanksgiving. I have so much internal anxiety because my children are not getting along. How do I deal with that part?
Well, of course I would suggest, I'm sure you do, I would suggest a counselor would be a good step one, because it is traumatizing to, have your children not be in community and connection with each other, and to really not have some sort of idea of what's going on.
Well, and Becky, like you said, okay, it's their relationship to work out, but there is an impact on the people around them. And I think it's okay to, first acknowledge it's their relationship, and then say, but I want you to know the impact it has on me as your mother.
Yes.
And share the impact. You're not asking them to do anything. You're just sharing. I just needed you to know that this is how it's affecting me. And that my desire would be, you have to make your own choice. My desire would be that somehow you come to a truce.
Right. Well, and the other part of that too is that's where the counselor can help you with that too, Becky, is that she can help he or she. Exactly. Go ahead, Dave.
Both the brother and the sister to work out a truce. But
yes.
And you can ask the sister, you can ask your daughter too, my desire would be for you to be willing to reach out to your brother and make amends. And, you can tell her what you want, and then she decides.
And she can decide no.
It's so hard. Family is just a challenge all the time, isn't it? But it's the place that we can grow if we can work on these things. That we have some understanding if there is going to be some sort of separation in the family, that you have an understanding of why that had to occur. But this ongoing struggle is just going to continue to create more wounds and separation. And so we're hoping for healing.
Well, and I think too, Becky, in mentioning the impact on you, you can also mention that, a wedding is hopefully a one-time event. Whereas, birthdays, holidays even, you can understand because they come around every year. But that's not something you can ever redo.
That's great. Right. All right. Well, thank you for calling, Becky. And We're going to talk to Dominic, who's listening in Baltimore, Maryland, listens to the great station WAVA. Hey, Dominic, how can we help you today?
So I have been separated for almost 2 years now.
It's a long time.
There was a lot going on in my marriage, between infidelities and, physical abuse. However, I haven't found the peace to let it go, and I'm reaching a point where I feel like God is just not there. I don't know how to move forward, even though people have come into my life wanting to remind me that I am a decent person, yet just not able to really let go of the idea of what, I had planned for my life. And with the holidays, spending time, with my potential ex, it's just been really hard, and trying to understand how to just move forward.
Well, it's kind of hard to move forward when you're still in the middle. Right. And I think that's kind of the place that you're in right now, right, Dominic? Like, you're not divorced, but
you're not together.
You're in limbo. So, being separated 2 years is too long. Separation should be something used to help bring the relationship back together. But when it's just indefinite separation, then what do you really have here?
You actually grow apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on some respects, like we've grown apart, but she wants to be friends, and like we'll hang out and we'll go away, but it's, I guess,
confusing.
The idea of what, and what I, how I hurt her, because like I said, there was some physical stuff there, but so I've been working on me.
What does that? Well, what does that mean, Dominic? What does that mean?
I've gotten physical with my wife.
Okay, so you have been the one who's been abusive. Is that what you're telling us? And it's even hard to say. Okay, and have you been the one to have affairs?
No.
Okay.
It was the other way around.
Okay, so she's been having affairs. Okay.
Right, emotional
affairs.
So what have you done to work on that anger that you have? That got out of control.
I've been in therapy.
Okay.
I've been in therapy and trying to reconnect with God, and trying to just understand the boundaries that I didn't set within, my relationship that allowed for the things to happen. And just accepting that maybe I was just an absentee husband as things went on.
Well,
it's hard.
It's extra hard at the holidays when there's so much going on to clarify what's going on. What I think you ought to do is sit down with her and say, we've got to either fish or cut bait. And we need to do some things to check out whether there's really hope for us as a couple, or whether we ought to just continue on in the direction we're going, which I hope we don't do, because I think that's what I hear your heart saying. And come up with a plan with a counselor that says we're gonna explore what's going on between us, and make a decision to either move forward and deal with the past, or move forward and move away. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it's time to, kind of the new year here, it's time to regroup and say, what is it we're doing? What, and to ask her, what does she need to see from you? Right? And what you need to see from her. Right?
Yeah, because you're going to have a whole new marriage after being separated 2 years. This is going to be a restart for you guys. If it's possible, that is what you want. You don't want to go back to the old. But I'm hearing, Dominic, that there's some anger issues that are buried, and that's why they kind of come out in those times of conflict. There's also
she doesn't
her
feel
anger
safe.
comes out-
She doesn't feel safe with you.
Well, but her anger
Right.
comes out with the affair.
Right. She's doing the more passive aggressive, right?
Right.
And acting
Relationships are so complex that I wish there were just the easy,
Yeah.
okay, all you have to do is this. But literally, one person does one thing, then the next person has another thing that they have to do. But when you work together, it's an amazing connection. And, hopefully something that we said, Dominic, will encourage you. I would encourage you to get at least one session together as a couple. You can't do marriage by yourself. And that's going to be the way.
And you want to do everything you can possibly do before you call it
Yes.
quits. Right?
Absolutely.
It's like, have you done everything? That's something to
Right.
ask her. Have you each done everything possible?
Right.
And there's a workshop in February that would be
Yes.
helpful too.
Yes, absolutely. Join us in that workshop. It'd be a great time.
My wife had found me out and came home one weekend. She had revealed my secret. The only reason I was sorry at that time is because I had been caught. I had the Every Man's Battle book for years and pulled that book out that weekend and found the phone number on the back and called it. And then a week later, I was at Every Man's Battle. It really gave me the start I needed for my recovery. I never had that opportunity to sit down with guys I didn't even know and totally open up. The good thing was I was opening up to guys I didn't even know. So why did I care? Just lay it all out on the table. I have nothing to lose. You need to check it out. At least go online, check out what it's about, and take the chance and go do it.
If you're struggling, call us. There are people on the other end of the line who want to hear from you, who want to help you. We don't want you to go on struggling, but you got to take that first step. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay in the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you a set of 4 devotionals, 100 Days of Character, Peace, Prayer, and the newly released 100 Days of Healing. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Hey, welcome back. This is Becky Brown. And just in case you're wondering who in the world is Becky Brown, I'm on staff here at New Life. I've been part of New Life for a long time. I'm the director of the Counselor Network. We have counselors all across the country that are waiting to help you in your process of getting a new life. And that's one of the parts of many things that I do here at New Life. And I'm also joined by Dr. Jill Hubbard and Dr. Dave Stoop. And we were just talking to Dominic about the marriage workshop. You know, we have Intimacy and Marriage coming up in February 14th. What a great Valentine's Day weekend gift that you could give each other. We have couples, it's going to be in Orange County. You can find all the details at newlife.com, but we have couples that come from all walks of life, all across the country, wanting to have a better marriage. And better can be a lot of things for a lot of different people. And so, we just have a great workshop for you. It's unlike any other marriage workshop. You're not just going to sit there and listen to people talk. You're going to be involved in it as well. I just lost our caller that I wanted to talk to. But we are going to talk to Kim, who's our Club New Life person who's listening in Rogers, Arkansas. And you listen through the app. Thank you, Kim, for calling. How can we help you today?
Thank you, guys, for being a blessing for so many. And your godly counsel is so appreciated. So here's my question. My husband and I, this April, we're going to be celebrating 40 years, so we've been together for a while.
Congratulations.
And we are, thank you. We are scheduling to begin counseling this month. I'm really grateful, and I'm a little anxious. I was going to say fearful, but that seems too strong. So here's my question. How can we prepare for our first appointment? So, and I was going to say I changed it to we, are ready and open.
Okay.
So that's really my question. I'm grateful because my husband finally said, after all of these years, I'm ready to go to counseling to get this constant issue in our life solved. That's huge. I'm fearful.
So,
well, okay, I'm changing it. Okay, I'm anxious. Okay, I'll stop. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's great, Kim. You're thinking this all the way out, right?
Yes,
Every little
yes.
avenue.
I've got it all written down.
That's awesome. I'm curious about the issue that your husband's relieved that you're going to go to counseling about. What is the issue that you guys have been dancing around with for 40 years?
So, like, I don't want to do that part, and I'm laughing. The issue is that we are very blessed to be sexually intimate, and we love each other and satisfy each other and care for each other that way. Our issue, which I really think is something that men and women, husband and wives, deal with all the time, is that my husband's constant, I'm using really strong words, constant need, and my I need him, and I love that, but I don't need it as often. And so we get in those conversations over and over again of him being frustrated. And I'm so blessed because he loves me dearly, and he tells me how beautiful I am and cares for me. But he has a great physical need for me, and
so you're
overwhelming.
Yeah.
So in 40 years, you guys have not figured out how to negotiate the sexual part of your life, right?
You know what? We haven't. No, we get it kind of started, and then so then I start being more attentive more regularly, and then something happens, or he gets like for example, we just had a couple nights ago. He was saying to me, Kimmy, if I just knew when we were going to be together, that would just really help me. So I'm thinking, oh, great. So tonight we'll be together. This will be wonderful. And then I start to be loving and whatever. And he said, it never feels like I'm romancing you. It never feels like I'm being able to love you, and we always have to plan it. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you just said to me that you wanted to know when. I thought I was being being obedient. I don't want to use the right word. I'm being loving, and then I do that, and then it's now I'm not romancing him enough, and I just feel caught.
But you're not romancing, or he doesn't get to romance you?
He doesn't get to romance me.
Okay.
Because it's scheduled. I think one thing I want to say, Kim, is you're normal. Whatever normal is.
Yeah.
This is.
I know we are.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
And it doesn't have anything to do with marital satisfaction either. That's been proven in the research.
No.
The different libido.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
It's a communication problem.
No. Yes, I will agree with you. And Aaron even said that. Absolutely.
Well,
so be prepared to go in a different direction with the counselor. It might surprise you where the counselor takes you, and if you do too much pre-planning, that's going to be part of the problem that you guys have.
Right, because relationships are messy. This doesn't have to be perfect, Kim, and you don't have to approach counseling perfectly.
No.
Okay, there's no way to perfectly prepare to not be anxious. This is about your most intimate relationship, and you are going to have some anxiety about it. So it's kind of like just being open to just showing up. You just have to show up.
One of the things I would try to get you and your husband to do is learn how to laugh about it.
Yeah, that's great. to bring some brevity into it. We will be right back after this break, and you're listening to New Life Live.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. We're joined Becky Brown with Dr. Jill Hubbard and Dr. Dave Stoop. And Jill, you wanted to finish
well, I just wanted to
our
add
conversation with Kim.
Right, because she was asking about counseling. And so I was saying that she just needs to show up. You know, it's okay to jot down a few things that you are, you know, feel are most important, and you don't want to be so anxious that you forget. But you have to look at counseling as you're entering into a process, right? And it's a growing process. So to try not to make it an all or nothing. Like each session doesn't have to be the most earth-shattering, right? Mm-hmm. It's you guys carving out time for each other to specifically be intentional about dealing with this issue. Right?
And become more spontaneous, even about the counseling, but about the problem, about the sexual intimacy. Don't worry about it so much. Like you were worrying about your words that you were using and how you're going to say this. And I would just blurt it out to the counselor.
Mm-hmm. It's a great decision to finally go seek help at a counselor.
Yes.
And the last thing we want is for you to become anxious because you're
about
going to
counseling.
See a counselor.
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes I think it's even good when you go into the office to just say, you know what, I'm feeling really anxious about being here.
Yeah.
And just begin it that way. Counselors are great people. I know a few of them.
Yes.
We're also joined.
Wait, just one more thing. And to turn that anxiousness into excitement. This is an opportunity. Yes. You know, to be excited about growing your relationship.
Finally, we can talk to someone about what's been bugging us.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. What a great thing. I love it so much. And, they would be a great couple to go to the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop as well.
We believe in that workshop.
I know, we do.
Every couple should go.
We believe in a lot of different workshops that we do. Yeah, well, but you know what? If you were with that, let's talk to Larry. Larry, are you in the studio there?
Yes,
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about one of our other fabulous workshops?
Yeah, I've got two things I want to talk about here. I'm not going to ask you for money today. We're going to take a breath for a week, and next week I'll come back fully charged. I want to talk about Every Man's Battle Workshop. It's coming up next week in Washington, D.C., and it doesn't matter where you live, you can get to Washington, D.C., guys. But I want to read what one guy said. I've actually got a couple of them, but I only have time for one. I walked to the conference room on Friday at 11 a.m. and wondered what I was doing here. God had a plan. It was the best decision I ever made. Not only did I realize that I'm not the only one with a problem, but many others with different walks of life do so as well. I've met a group of guys that I'm blessed to have as my brothers. It's a blessing to have been here. You know, this is a man that didn't want to be there, and that's just the common theme. But guys, I know you need it. And I know it's scary. It's just like going into a counselor's office. What do I say?
Right.
And they're going to go in here and they're going to feel safe and just experience things they never thought. And I just want to encourage you men to go to that.
Every man's battle.
Yep. Call 800 New Life and just say you want to learn about it and you want to go.
It's a great way to start the year.
The other thing is we have a river cruise that New Life is sponsoring and going on. It's the Captivating Rhine River Cruise, and it is September 28th to October 5th. It starts in Amsterdam and ends up in Basel, Switzerland. We have a theme. It's based on Psalm 145 that is proclaiming God's greatness. We have chartered the entire ship. We are not using any ministry money to do this. The money comes purely from the people who are signing up to go. So I just want to be sure you know that. So anybody that's going on this trip will be somebody that has a connection with us in some way. Mylan and Kay will be there with Steve Arterburn presenting. Every day we'll have some sort of a meeting, whether it's on the boat or at one of the sites. There are 78 cabins on the boat, 28 cabins left. I've talked to probably 10 people in the last 2 weeks that said, yeah, I think we're probably going to sign up. But they haven't signed up yet, and I just can't encourage you 10 and anybody else. Take a look at it. Give us a call. Sign up. You go online to newlife.com, and there's one of the floating banners at the top is on the cruise. Click on that. We're going to see some great cathedrals. We're going to see if we can change and add one stop to see. It's spelled Worms, W-O-R-M-S, pronounced Worms. And it's where Martin Luther went to defend his theses to the Catholic Church. And we just thought that'd be an interesting bit of history to experience.
I love that. And, you know, I love the opportunity that we get to travel with people who are listeners and love the ministry, and we are like-minded. It's a great privilege to be able to see the world together.
One of the testimonies last week that I read was from a lady that said all the workshops she's been to and all the trips she's been on with us, she said, I got to tell you, the best people in the world to travel with are New Life people.
Oh, see, I wasn't making it up.
Great. So come with us.
Very special.
I love it. Well, thanks, Larry, for sharing that. I have one thing to say about that city called Worms, right? It's
Worms.
spelled with a W. Yeah, Worms. I don't know. I'm not good at German. What can I say? But Mylan said yesterday it takes a village.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
it takes a village.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of, you know, we always talk about willingness, and it does. It takes a village. We all have to be willing to do something different.
You need to be willing.
Yeah, willing. Okay. Well, with that, let's talk to Tina before we lose it. Hi, Tina. So glad that you held on, and you're calling from Louisville, and you listen on the app, which is fantastic. How can we help you today?
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I'm a Club New Life member also, and I gave a year-end gift. I just wish it could have been more because honestly, it's the best money ever spent.
Thank you,
so
Tina.
I just love you all.
We love you too.
Question.
Okay.
Thank you. I have a quick question. I just found out I have twin great niece and great nephew, and they recently had a birthday, and my daughter called me and asked if I had seen my sister's post on Facebook where she said happy birthday to the twins, but both of the names were boys. And she thought that maybe she had missed a cousin someplace, and so she asked my sister, and my sister private messaged her and said 2 years ago, when she was 18, the girl decided to be transgender.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter was shocked that I knew nothing about it. And I didn't, because my family has kind of just walked away from me for about 4 years, and I haven't been able to figure that one out either. But my question is, this is the first time this has ever come up personally for me, and it may not ever be a problem because I rarely see this great niece and great nephew. They live in a completely different state. But how do I address this if it comes up? As in, I cannot look at her and call her by a boy's name. Or should I? I am the only Christian in the family.
Just call her and say, "Hey, you."
I think one of the biggest, well, for one thing, Tina, you don't live close enough, so there's not, you don't really have a relationship with this person, right?
Right.
I mean, you're connected by marriage or by family, but you're not in relationship with them, right?
Right. We see each other very rarely. Yeah.
I think there's a bigger conversation as opposed to how to, connect with this person. I think there's another conversation that goes to your sister, who this is her family, right? Like it's your sister's son or daughter's children, right?
It's my sister's, yes, my sister's son, my nephew,
okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I think maybe step one would be to, if you can pick up the phone and call your sister and say, "Hey, I just learned that there was a big change in your family, and just curious, how I was kind of left out of the loop." I mean, that could be a start of it. I don't know that you want to, I don't think that there's a need to make an issue of it, especially because you're not in relationship with her. Yeah. But I think, I don't know what all the separation is about, but this could be part of it too. Like, if you're the only Christian and they don't know how to talk to you about this, those are kind of the things that I would think about. Jill or Dave, what are your
because people push away people that they think won't agree with them. Right? But I think you're right, Becky, kind of saying, I realize with me not knowing this information, I realize there has been so much distance between us. And I'm really saddened by that this was probably a really big deal in your family, and I wasn't there to support you.
Right. I have asked my sister directly, have I done anything to offend? And she's just really good at deflecting, and that's what she did. She never answered my question.
Okay.
Well, then answer it for her, and like Jill said, just say, "I feel bad that we've lost touch with each other."
Right.
Okay.
One of the hardest parts of family relationships is recognizing that the other person gets to do what they need to do, and it can be painful.
Yeah.
But that's just part of the individual parts of all of our lives.
She said, "We need to talk." She's asked me for the first time if I would consider myself a sex addict. I thought it was just about admitting the things that I had done wrong. I never had a clue that it was about redeeming our story. I thought it was just about coming clean on what I had done. I had no idea how to help her with her pain. She was a mess, I was a mess, and we got divorced. Going to EMB, surrounding myself with these other men, they accepted me for who I was and what I had done, but they challenged me to step up and do better. They'll be around other men who are not just pointing the finger, but willing to get in and wade through it with them, get in the trenches. They'll get hope from this workshop. Take my sweet wife and my story. We were divorced, remarried, and on our way to what I think will be the sweetest years of our lives. It's no longer simply about surviving. For the first time ever, we're thriving, we're enjoying where we're at.
Hey, listen, if you're struggling, we want to see you at the workshop. Give us a call, 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in the biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Hi, welcome back. We're so glad you're listening, and we're having some conversations that we're having on the phone today. And, relationships are tricky, and we need help. And, one of the things I always think is so important is grace and truth mixed with love. All of those things can make for great relationships, but we can't always, we can't control what other people
think or feel. No, but Becky, share what you said about the judgment part.
Yeah, so what happens so many times, like what Tina was talking about, she's the only Christian identified in the family, and the family has kind of distanced themselves from her. So she becomes identified as a judge, even though she isn't part of a conversation.
Right.
And the hard part is that, if you're not invited to the conversation, no one has the opportunity to know how you feel or what you think. And so we want to be able to have those talks where we can show people we're compassionate, we're understanding, we want to know those that are related to us, and to be of help in any way possible. That we're not the judge. That's not what our role is.
Well, and that people are rejecting Christ in us, right?
Yes, yes, exactly.
And we have to be prepared for that.
Yes, exactly. One of the great privileges we have is working with Dave and all the work that he does with Life Recovery, and he and Steve were the editors of the Life Recovery Bible, and it's changed so many people's lives. If you want a copy of it, you can call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. But we also have the Life Recovery Workbook. We have a new one out called Life Recovery Workbook for Grief. And for a gift of any amount this month, to New Life, you can receive a copy of that. And let me tell you, grief work is not just about somebody who has passed away. It's about losses. Yeah. And I was so excited when I heard you guys had created this. Dave, you want to talk a little bit about that workbook, or what can people expect when they get into recovery work for grief?
Well, it's putting the whole work of grief in the context of the 12 steps. And we cover the topic of grief in vignettes, and then you work on the step in relationship to that particular aspect of grief. We've also put together, my son helped put together a life recovery app. So if you're in life recovery in any way, you might want to look at the App Store and see what the life recovery app has in it. One of the things you'll get is a fresh devotional every morning. And then there's other resources available, and it's a counter. Count how many days you've been in recovery or sober.
That's cool.
We love life recovery here at New Life. We believe in it, and we have life recovery groups all over the country that you can locate somebody in your area, and you can call us and find out. We also, life recovery is too, but New Life is a listener-supported ministry, and we couldn't do this without you, our listeners, and our giving family. And part of our family is our Club New Life members. And this month, our thank you gift, if you join Club New Life, is a set of 400-day devotionals by Steve and access to the video library, so you can grow all year long. There's 2 videos by John Townsend that were added this week. And, I can't say enough about, Club New Life, because it's part of why we get to do what we're doing, but yet it's the gift that keeps on giving. You give to be part of Club New Life, but you get a gift by, learning and the access to the videos, as well as the teachings and the Club New Life CD that they give every month. So give us a call or join at newlife.com. We're going to go ahead and take a call, and Karen is calling us from Lincoln, Nebraska. She listens to KCRO. Karen, glad that you are calling us today. How can we help you?
Thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
I am in my middle 60s. I'm divorced, twice divorced. And I have struggled for many years with codependency, and I just seem to be stuck. And I wish I could just know what God would tell me to do. I still think I love my ex-husband. I think it's love. We've been separated for 4 months now. He's living in a different city, but he and I would talk every day and want to get back together. But I don't know if it's something that it's just my loneliness. Is it my codependency, or is it really love? And how would God feel about it? Our children, we've had such a rocky road even since we got divorced many years ago, that the children have pretty much threatened that if we do ever get back together, they won't have anything to do with this.
So is this, okay, Karen, because you've said you're separated, but you're also divorced. So, and is this husband one or husband two that you're talking about?
Okay, first husband is deceased now.
Okay.
And we had 2 children from that marriage. He was an alcoholic.
Okay.
And he did eventually, in the last 15 years of his life, he did quit drinking. And I was so grateful that the kids got to know him. He came back in their lives and the grandkids and was just an awesome person. He was sober for 15 years. And he did die 3 years ago. So we were great friends, best of friends.
So it's husband number 2.
So number 2, I met him after my first husband. We got divorced due to alcoholism, and we ended up. He had been married before, so we had his, mine, and ours. We have a son together.
So my question, Karen, let me jump in for just a second. I want to ask just a quick question because we only got a couple minutes left.
Yes.
Have you done work on codependency recovery? Have you done the work?
I have gone to a counselor, and I'm having a hard time finding a counselor that specializes in codependency.
Okay.
I have read.
We can recommend some. Good.
Yeah.
But I need support. I don't.
Have you been to any CODA groups?
No, and I don't know of any in this area.
Oh, there's lots of them.
Okay, because I think you need to get involved in a group, because that's where you'll really get some hands-on practical help and watching other people who are farther along in recovery.
Well, and the answer I was going to give you were asking, is it codependency? Is it loneliness? What is it? I would say yes. The answer is yes to all of that. It's all of that. And I think that's the reason why I was asking about the work. The good news is you don't have to make a decision about getting back with him because he doesn't live by you. But the really good thing to do would be to get focused on your own recovery. Codependent recovery is just as powerful as somebody who's dealing with an addiction, because in many ways codependency can be that way. And sometimes when we're lonely, that's when that starts to rear its ugly head. But I'm thinking, Karen, if you can get in touch, and we'll get you connected to somebody after the show. We'll get you connected to a counselor in your area, or even find you a life recovery group in your area that can.
Great.
Yeah, and I think we should send her the Life Recovery Bible, which
that sounds
has
good.
the 12 steps in it. It's got great devotionals. Dave, do you want to say anything about codependency to Karen?
Well, codependency is working on somebody else's side of the street and being concerned more about their life than you are about your own life.
Yeah.
And so send her, take your life back, because that's one of the tasks of a codependent, is to take your life back as being the place where you're working.
And I feel like he's pressuring me.
Well, he might be, but that's where your strength is going to come from. All of us have room to grow. Until our hearts stop beating, the Lord's got work for us to do, and it can make a big difference in our lives and the lives around us. Thank you so much for listening today. Thanks, Jill, and thanks, Dave. God bless you all. Have a happy Friday.
We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterman here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You know, you can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.